In a breaking update, we are getting the VHP that will be carrying out Srirangapatna Chalo, the march today, despite prohibitory orders that have been put in place. Over 500 policemen that have been deployed in Srirangapatna around the Jamia Masjid. This is now the same masjid which is in contention as far as to be built on the ruins of an alleged Hanuman Mandir, and the VHP is now seeking its right to pray. The District Reserve and the CrPC have now been roped in to ensure law and order that is maintained, and multiple checkpoints leading up to the masjid that are being looked upon, even the route marches that are being carried out as well. So this was already where the VHP had given a declaration of carrying out this march, where they are now demanding of a Gyanvapi-like survey also at the Jamia Masjid. Going across to Deepak now. Deepak, good morning. What is the situation as of now? Prohibitory orders in place, but the VHP says they will still carry out the march.
Yes, several VHP leaders, of course, have been saying that the march will continue as planned, and there's no way that they're going to back out from this particular protest. We are standing outside the Jamia Masjid here in Srirangapatna. You can see right now the gate, of course, shut. There are policemen who are stationed inside this particular masjid in the last 24 hours, and now around this particular area as well, there's massive deployment of policemen. The entire area leading up to this particular masjid has been barricaded. We should understand that this area itself was a fort that was built by Tipu. You can see, of course, a fort wall that runs through this entire area, but now there's another layer that has been created by the police, and you can, my cameraman Pradeep, of course, showing you the entire area. 360-degree view shows you barricades that have been put up all over. There are police cars, there are policemen deployed each and every nook and corner. In about 200-meter radius here in itself, there are about 150 to 200 policemen, and they are also manning several checkpoints leading up to Srirangapatna through the Mysore-Bangalore highway. They are expecting, VHP Karyakartas to come in from Bengaluru, from Mandya, from Mysuru, from Maddur and different parts, and they're saying that if they notice any vehicles bringing in VHP leaders, VHP workers, they will all be taken into preventive custody. At this point in time, the police have made it very clear that no sorts of protest or agitation is going to be allowed. As far as the VHP is concerned, they're saying it is their right. What's happening inside the masjid is something that should not be allowed by the ASI, should not be allowed by the district administration. They're saying that this is a site, a monument protected by the Archaeological Survey of India. They say that a madrasa is being operated here. They're saying that structures which are Hindu religious in nature are present inside. They are being destroyed systematically. They're saying FIR should be registered. They're demanding for a survey to be done of the entire area as well. So a lot of demands that have been put forth by the VHP, which says that this was an Anjaneya or Hanuman temple in the past, which was destroyed by Tipu Sultan during his time, and the masjid has been built over it. Then another demand that they're putting forth is that Hindus should be allowed to offer prayers as well. So we'll really have to see how the district administration reacts to this, because we've spoken to the DC, the SP, they've all made it pretty clear that the section 144 that has been imposed will be enforced in its entirety, and any sort of protest will not be entertained. What we are picking up is that in case they are not allowed to march here, just outside the limits of this particular area where section 144 has been imposed, they would be allowed to probably gather there. A small protest could take place, but too many people will not be allowed there as well. We'll have to see whether the VHP really tries to march towards this particular area, because the police say, as far as they are concerned, they are ready to tackle any sort of law and order issue at this point in time. Even the shops and establishments which usually that you will find outside the masjid, all of them as well today have been asked not to come in here, set up their stalls as well. Like I mentioned, police have been deployed in huge numbers here, about 500 policemen that have been deployed, 2 KSRP platoons. Apart from that, there's also the district reserve police as well that it has come into play. So a lot of developments that are taking place. We've seen these sort of controversies erupt in different parts of Karnataka. The recent one, of course, being at the Malali Juma Masjid, and now the Jamia Masjid here in Srirangapatna becoming quite a controversial site. And now you're looking at, because of law and order concerns, the police deploying themselves in huge numbers in this area.
Take us through the administration's point of view as well, what they have to say, in fact, as the Karnataka government is also concerned, because the masjid side, they have been claiming that the madrasas have been operating since day one of the structure when it was formed, the masjid that it was formed, and it is only certain outsiders there, and this entire march is said to be politically motivated.
Well, yes, these charges are definitely coming to the fore. As far as the district administration is concerned, they are saying they've heard the requests and the demands that have been made by the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the other organizations. They say that, the letter that they had written to the DC herself spoke to us yesterday. She, while speaking to Times Now, has said that she has written to, the officials, the senior officials of the ASI in Bengaluru, who in turn have written to the officials sitting in Delhi about, some of the claims that are being made and some of the requests that are being made by these pro-Hindu organizations. They say that until a reply comes in from the ASI, they can't really take a call because this does not come under their purview or ambit, and they'll have to really wait for any sort of responses to come in from the ASI officials. So once that comes in, we'll probably expect any sort of decision to be taken. But as of now, there has been no clear-cut response from the ASI. Right behind me, the windows that you see, now these are some of the rooms that are occupied by the students of the madrasa. They stay here. We in fact went inside this particular area. We even saw some of the students stay inside. There are beds that have been, bunker beds that have been set up inside for the students inside these, windows that you see. This is the outer compound of the Jamia Masjid, and some of these pillars that you see, let me in fact take you towards the main gate, where I could probably show you some of these pillars as well, and the entrance to this Jamia Masjid. And here you can see the door and some of the pillar. They say that this architecture is something that indicates that this was a temple. They say that the basement here over which the masjid has been built was formerly a temple, the Anjaneya temple. That's the entire bone of contention. They say that the architecture on the walls as well is something that indicates Hindu religious sculptures. So all of these allegations combined, and the VHP today deciding to carry out this Srirangapatna Chalo has in fact created quite a bit of a tense atmosphere in this particular area. The police are saying there will be no law and order issues, because if the VHP decides to march, they are not going to hesitate in arresting and taking into custody any sort of
multiple checkpoints leading to the masjid that is being looked upon. The route marches being supervised by the police, additional forces that have been deployed, prohibitory orders that have been imposed. We are looking at a situation that is still developing. Deepak will come back to you with more updates on the same. We head into a short break. You're watching Times Now.